Hello and welcome to the new, well, not new campaign, but the new adventures of,
Rise of the Drow.
no, of the Shield.
Oh, Deranged D&D.
Alright, Deranged D&D. Excellent start. The newest adventures of the Deranged D&D party.
Deranged group.
This campaign is going to be the Rise of the Drow campaign by AAW Games, and it is going to take place in the continent of Aventine. Specifically, we're going to be starting off in a small frontier village known as Revolta. Sort of a small mining settlement that over its recent history has suffered much conflict in both in a sort of war for control over it. Just recently, having sort of ended that the conflict having ended, it now is starting to settle in its new life of becoming, gaining an identity for itself, and the various factions that live. It is a cold winter's evening when our first two characters on the scene, Jason, if you would like to introduce
Actually, I can't play during the evening, sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry then, Bobby, if you would like to introduce your two characters.
I would love to, but I just recently died.
Okay, then Jason, please.
Well, okay then.
We're 10 minutes in. We've lost everyone.
That's true. So for this campaign, we're going to have two characters each. First one's going to be our main character, followed by a supporting character who will only be participating in combat, not in roleplay significantly. For my supporting character, let's get them out of the way first. I have Mykin, the Funglet, standing at a whopping 9 feet tall, weighing 650 pounds. I have, with a mix of purple and brown coloring with 3 just sort of deformed eye cavities in the face. This beast is a cleric originating from the Underdark.
And who's your primary character that you will be playing?
And for my primary character, we have my boy, the Gitwek, which is a subspecies of dwarf named Nastema. They will be playing a class unique to this campaign setting, titled an Underterror. And they sit at a 5 feet tall, are dark skinned, black hair, long beard, hair, standard dwarf features, 150 pounds. And, yes, should I say...
No, that's alright. We'll be able to learn more of what your actual class gets to do, as the story unfolds, I suppose. So, Bobby, if you'd like to take it away and tell us a bit about your characters.
Oh, fantabulous. I very much like to do so on that shit. So, with my supporter, we have, Alucard, which is totally not a ripoff whatsoever.
Naturally.
I mean, it's Dracula backwards isn't copyrighted. You can't call it a ripoff, you know what I mean?
Fair enough. He is a Rennie High of Dampier fighter, standing well and tall at 7'3". I was not good at numbers, I swear to God.
Alright.
With nice with nice amber-colored eyes. And he does happen to have pretty blonde, a very nice long streak of blonde hair. And you can see, he wears the typical thing you would probably see with any typical vampire. Yeah.
Sort of Victorian, darker colors.
Pretty much, yes.
Alright, nice. And who will be the primary character that you'll be playing?
So, the primary will happen to be a Zeref Neblin wizard known as Ozen.
Alright, nice Zeref Neblin. And anything about him that we should know?
Just a gnome.
Yeah, which is a gnome subrace.
Yes. That is correct. His height is different from Alucard's very dramatically. For the reason of him standing at 4'5".
Alright.
That's quite a height difference.
A little bit.
He does have a nice line of work, but that's for him to be disclosed to others and others to find out.
Okay.
He does happen to have happen to wear what you would typically see with cyberpunk, like a cyberpunk trench coat, with a little tail, with a tail at the end of it. Also happens to also carry around with him, a little pocket watch that he managed to scrounge around in scrap heaps and all that. And he also happens to carry a lot of novelty items with him here and there, so that he can sell for a profit.
Okay. Nice. And what kind of class is he playing?
He is a wizard.
Alright, nice. Always good to have one of those thrown in the party. So, with our introductions sort of out of the way for now, let's go ahead and dive on in. The setting is a light snow-fallen sort of hillside region, just emerging from a small, a decently large expanse of forest, heading sort of southwards along this Soul Road into a sort of smallish village with rather simple in structure. Sorry. Rubalka, being this frontier village on the edge of this kingdom known as the Klavik Kingdom, which is set a long way from the capital of Mokba, having only recently recovered from its very tumultuous sort of life, now being able to settle down and try to resume where things have been left. You see a number of small stone hutches with sort of thatched roofs, smoke rising into the air from these lit chimneys. Within the village itself, the most notable structure is a rather large, sort of longhouse-like building that appears to be something of a chapel, where you see smoke rising from several smokestacks, and surrounded by a rather fortified sort of stone wall. Surprising. Yes, both of the roads into this village go north. One to a nearby iron mine, which is actually what this village's main resource that it offers is, and why it was so heavily fought for, because it is one of the most rich iron mines within the known region. But other than that, it's a rather simple village, and we'll get to learn more about it as time goes on. But that being said, Mr. Ozen and Alucard, you find yourselves traveling along this road southward, just exiting this like forested region, seeing this village laid out in front of you. What put you on this road here today?
We've been a little, stiff on. Oh, Mr. Ozen's been a little stiff on work lately, you see. A lot of things was interested with him, so he wanted to travel around and see if he can find some new pieces of work. So it's kind of like, of course, with his stature being like, or shall we say, importance. That, of course, he needed some backbone, because, hell, with him being a wizard, with him being important enough, that he's not worth enough being killed, knowing his stature. So, you have to find someone to, like, not only, like, help to, like, keep him protected, but also accompany him on his journeys. So, he went through every nook and cranny that he could find, and that's kind of what leads him to Alucard. So, of course, Ozen didn't know much about Alucard, other than he comes from some high noble family. So, of course, he hires him, gives him pretty good amount of gold from who knows what. And then, of course, he tries to find, like, some connections to what he could be. Who his father truly is, because Alucard doesn't ever.
So, sort of a search for self-understanding and information.
Yes.
Essentially.
Pretty much.
All right, yeah. So, you had been set upon this journey via your own means and for your own reasons. And along the road, you had learned of this festival that was taking place rather soon, actually. And by the time that you have arrived, it actually is the night of this festival. It is known as the Moonlight Festival, where all of the residents of Revolka sort of gather to give sort of celebration and worship over something that you, through your means, have heard is known as the Moon Shard. It's very shrouded in mystery, but nevertheless, it was enough to drive your interest and get you wondering. So, you have set off, and now entering into this village, the smell in the air is that of various baked breads and meats being roasted. There's a general sound of cheer and merriment. You hear the sound of music being played from various instruments, mostly seeming to center from this very large kind of chapel-looking structure.
So, what we will do now is that we will go with Ozen that he piques his interest as well. It's been a while since he has some decent food, so he goes ahead and like goes towards like that smell. And Alucard would kind of be like, we don't know much about this place, so why the hell would we trust it? So, and he was like, well, I don't care. It's like, oh, why are you so on about? I hardly know you. I hardly know you for a price of my own pie. So, I'm gonna go ahead.
Right. So with some minor disagreement between the two of you, you set off, crunching the snow beneath your feet, crunching, seemingly only noticing a couple of footprint, like sets of footprints within this now relatively high-packed snow. and you set off towards this chapel, cutting over at the doors of the chapel, actually. Jason, what brought your two characters here today? Mr. Mastema and Myken.
So, Myken, being a cleric, thought that this area, that it might be nice to visit the local chapel of the area, and as for why they're in the area to begin with, Myken and Mastema are wanderers. Ever since they left the Underdark, they've been wandering about town to town, living off the land, trying to make friends and having fun while they do. Myken trying to make the best that he can out of the last 150 years of his long life, and Mastema having just matured to adulthood, joining him. Which, naturally brought them to this lovely little town.
Settlement?
Yes, if you can call it.
That's a village.
It's a village.
Yeah.
And to the local church.
Alright, nice, yeah. So, because of those, you had heard word of this ceremony known as the Vigil of Light, that not only seems to be celebrated by these villagers of this town you've heard to be known as Rebalka, but also some amount of surrounding fame by other settlements that you had sort of wandered through. So you managed to kind of get passage with another group of travelers that were also heading towards Rebalka for this Vigil of Light. And just having arrived earlier this day, you spent some amount of time sort of wandering around, meeting some of the locale. Naturally, with Myken being the slightly intimidating figure that they are, be it undeserving or deserving, irregardless, there was some level of hesitation, but it seems that the place you're in, it's a melting pot of various cultures and different species of humanoids. You met all sorts, mainly humans, of course, but you also met a number of dwarves, elves.
In addition, I will say that unless I state otherwise, Mastema will be taking the form of a dwarf.
Gotcha. And for those that are unaware, dwarves are essentially the mountain dwarves of this campaign setting. And there are a few other variations of dwarf. So, dwarves are the more common mountain dwarf. Alright, but nevertheless, you two had sort of made introductions to those around, and once that dusk had begun to set, you noticed that the general pattern of traffic seemed to be leading up towards this chapel. So, thusly, you made short work of it and made sure to set your way there. And you were just pulling on these big, heavy, oaken doors, and they're creaking open when you hear the crunch of snow behind you. And the two of you turn around, curious by nature, given your sort of wanderlust. You turn around and you see, of course, unknown by name to you, but you see short Zwerfneblin, you would recognize them, and a average-heighted, sort of elven fellow, which is actually quite interesting to see in elf. They're usually not quite, you don't see them super often. There's quite a bit of mistrust about them, but nevertheless, they seem, they don't obviously seem to be harboring any ill intent, at least outwardly. So, Ozan and Alucard, you bump into these two figures that you see before you, just as they're opening the door to this chapel.
Who is Ozan, huh? Who are you?
Hello. My name is Mastema. This is my friend Myken up here.
Oh, holy Holy mother Ponsick!
For more accurate height representation.
Mother of... Holy shite, my mother. You're a tall one, aren't you?
Yes, I suppose I am.
Dear Christ, I need a little assistance here. I just kind of like, he's just kind of like,
Yeah, Alucard sort of like lifts you up, gives you a boost onto his shoulder.
okay.
Even then, you're still several heads below this giant of a creature.
Jesus. Oh, God, you're still tall even on this height. He kind of, that he also is kind of like wearing like a fedora, like, what do you imagine like a fedora? Like, he like kind of like, my name's is, my name's is, Odin, this here, Alucard, and, let's just say that I'm on, very important businesses.
An important business.
You could say that.
Of what nature, exactly? If you don't mind my curiosity.
That I rather can't discuss. It's a level hush hush.
I see. Makes sense.
He's speaking to Ozan, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're speaking to this Zerf Nebula fine growth fellow.
I see. But I don't see elves around this part often. How did you and your friend up there meet?
He happened to come to me. He went, wait a minute, I have to go to travel with him.
Interesting. It's like a bodyguard, or?
Less of a bodyguard, more of a acquaintance.
Interesting. Does this happen a lot on the surface? Sorry, I'm from the Underdark.
Well, if in my line of work, yes.
Interesting. Very interesting. Did you have any plans for this night? What's your reason for visiting the chapel?
Me and my colleague here, we were on the road for quite some time, and I happened to take a nice big whiff of some commodities, and I am pretty famished.
Hunger gets him every time. I believe my friend up here has some cookies that he would offer you if you're hungry.
Nah.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I guess he's a little intimidating.
So, as you've been interacting, the door is kind of shut behind you, and you're talking, and you kind of after some period of time notice that the sound around you has kind of died out, at least outside this chapel. And you notice a group of villagers wielding torches approaching the chapel entrance, which might alarm, some of you guys at first, depending on your backgrounds.
Guys, there's something going on out here.
But as they approach, they're like, "Make haste! We must enter the chapel. Move aside, please. Move aside or enter. It's not safe to be residing out here at these hours."
Ozan kind of shuffles on Alucard's shoulders to face him, like, is there any particular reason why?
Make haste. We'll talk more when we're inside. We must go into the safety of the chapel.
But I kind of need to know, because
we've not time for this. And they gently kind of pardon you guys, and they're like, excuse me, big fella. And they're bringing these torches and marching past. So I'd imagine that at least Myken would be slightly hesitant and kind of back up from these torches that are, lit.
I mean, a little bit, but it's Myken's age, which I don't know if I mentioned. Myken is exactly 895 years old.
Naturally.
Myken is a little less hesitant. Myken has a lesser fear of death and enough trust in the average citizen at this point to not be that wary of it.
Fair enough. But nevertheless, does he allow them to pass through?
He does allow
them
to pass.
Yeah, so they pass through, and as the doors open, you see some level of steam escape as the heat kind of rushes out, and you hear the chatter of voices and the sound of that music kind of return, and then the doors shut, and then suddenly, it's back to that quiet, it's cold out. You hear a wind kind of blowing through the village, and that, high whistle sound following it. And it suddenly sort of gives a very different feeling than originally had perhaps settled upon all of you. You begin to get this sort of uncomfortable, almost vulnerable feeling somewhere in the back of your minds. As you do, as you're standing here, you're getting another look around. This temple itself, as you're kind of getting a view of this because I never actually described it, looking out 10 feet from the entrance, by an open pair of finely carved wooden swing gates, which are sort of at the entrance of that wall, you see that there are, it depicts the rising sun, just these finely carved gates depicting the rising sun on the actual faces of them. There's actually someone that you had to pass. There's a rather imposing man that kind of greets each person, that's seemingly with a personal message and a bit of a guiding hand. They seem very wizened in age, or at least wizened in mind, and allowing people in. He seems to be wearing this very large, heavy, suit of armor. There's a helmet sort of cut at the brow, with a large, triangle, flat, sort of face on top of it. Almost like an old, Roman, centurion's, helmet, how it had been that sideways, crescent shape. This is more of a triangular shape. Seemingly made of gold, with various, red and yellow embossments on the actual element itself. Seems very finely dressed, very heavily armed, wielding a very large, sort of quarterstaff with a mace, kind of club on the end of it. And although he's very intimidating in appearance, he's letting these people into this church with a very kind phrases and such. And as it seems he looks around, sees that there's not really many others approaching, he turns around, begins marching up the path toward you guys. Evening. I assume you'll be attending this festival tonight?
Right. Let me just say that this is by far probably one of the most weakest places I've probably been to.
Well, I hope that you're able to change your mind. Now, please, he opens the door and gestures you. Be at peace, be at rest.
And he kind of gestures out, well, you gotta go in or not? And he's kind of just sighs, he walks forward in a way that almost topple from the shoulder, I don't know, just
I like the vampire not wanting to go into a chapel.
And then Alucard just kind of stops at the entrance and be El's just well, what are you doing? He just takes El and be wait, what are you doing? He just kind of throws it in there.
Yeah, so Ozum, you get chucked in there, and you like suddenly sprawl out on the floor in the midst of all these people, and people kind of turn around, like some of them seeming like alarm on their face, see what's happening at the door, what's the sound of, and then they see you and like see your friend, and they seem to like kind of hesitantly resume their conversations. But as like you guys are kind of shuffled into the door, he's like, please, friends, sit, enjoy the service. The day's dawn heralds new events for all of us. Yuri, and he seems to call over to someone. Seats for my new companions, please.
With him?
Sorry?
Are we sitting with him?
It doesn't seem so. He seems to be like calling someone out, and then this person is like theoretically about to like bring you guys over to room seats. But at this final call, a man looks up from like roughly halfway down this cathedral, and he begins beckoning you forward. And assumedly you follow it back.
Can I question, just real quickly, what was everyone in such a rush for?
Please, friends, I sure some of these fine fellows of Revolver will be able to explain to you. I must go as I need to prepare the night's ceremonies. Otherwise, I would be very much enjoy spending a moment of time and sort of explaining things, but I assure you, any number of these fine citizens are more than happy to discuss with you and sort of inform you of the goings about. I assume you are all sort of newcomers to our town.
Well, yes, of course.
Well, allow me to be the first to say it. It is most wonderful to join us. Now, well-met travelers, it has been very wonderful interacting with you. I hope we get to speak more on this later, but for now, I must speak for myself and go prepare tonight's ceremony. Excellent. And he sort of he gives you a bit of a nod rather than a thumbs up, and he seems to go off and to this sort of like curtain like side hallway almost, like that's kind of wraps around the outside perimeter of this, not the outside perimeter, but there's like an inner hall, and then there's a small hallway around it that's still within the building. He seems to walk over there. You see a number of seeming like Templars or disciples of some sort, just like priest assistants type individual that seem to follow him and like kind of having a conversation. Getting a good look around. Well, the exterior of this cathedral is like dark gray stone. The interior is instead built with rather lustrous wood, assumedly from the local trees. And as are the simple benches which serve as pews and line the hall on both sides from front to back. A large fire on a raised plinth burns brightly, bathing the weathered and wrinkled faces of the villagers in a flickering, otherworldly orange glow. The fire is never allowed to die, says just a villager as you're kind of walking past. They look up at you and see kind of like the curious faces, and they're like, "Oh, that fire! They never let it die. That's the heart of our town." You know, kind of like old. Rather elder individual, that crackling, tis said to be the spirits of warriors long since passed from this world. They speak to us, not to warn or teach us, but let us relieve their glory, so we remember the sacrifices they made for their children and grandchildren. Oh, war is never an easy affair, mind you. Those involved. Also, at any time, you're welcome to keep walking past this guy. But he seems to be divulging this whole like.
Stenda's gonna try to slowly walk away, and Mike is just gonna grab him and move him back into place.
Yeah, Mike just moves you back. Those involved are usually swept up and away, oftentimes lost in the minds of our rulers. Here at Clavix Edge, we recall those that brought light to our lives. To this day, they give us vision, warmth, and shelter. Juriander has shown us such things. Soon he'll arrive to share more wisdom.
Yeah, old man, whatever.
Who is this?
He seems like just a rather...
I want to ask
Oh,
him.
who Juriander is.
Yes.
Make a persuasion check.
First roll of the day, nat 20.
Okay, great.
Plus
First
3.
roll of the campaign, natural 20.
That's true.
Plus 3. Okay, so, you kind of lean over, it's like, before you speak on, you kind of ask, like, priest, who is this, Juriander? Like, oh, Juriander, well, he's the high priest. He leads us here in this congregation. He's that fellow you entered with, that one dressed up in that armor? I mean, I'm surprised he didn't introduce himself. If you're new here, he must be really busy with tonight's ceremony. But yeah, no, Juriander is wonderful. He had arrived here, how long ago now has it? Well, it's hard to remember, quite frankly. He feels like he's a very core part of this society.
Hey, old man, sorry to intrude, but, what the hell you mean about ceremony?
Oh, the ceremony? What's the vigil for light? You've not heard of it before?
Not that I say I have.
Oh, well, the vigil of light, how do I even begin here? Okay, so, well, as you must know, tonight is the longest night of the year. It is the winter's solstice. The Vicmorda people that originally built this village, and some of us are still descendants of them. Well, actually, quite many of us are still Vicmorda they held this ceremony on this day to ensure that the light returned after darkness reigned. Sort of a spiritualistic ensuring of continued light and therefore safety in troubled times. And to this day, we still, every year at this time, we adopt, we carry on this ceremony. However, Juriander, being newer, took this on wholeheartedly right away. He opened the church to more varied worship, allowing people of different beliefs and persuasions, bringing their deities into it, which, of course, if you ask me, is a little bit, it might be trampling on certain spirits, but I can understand why he would.
How does he feel about the natural force?
Well, everyone knows the natural force is not to be trifled with. They are naturally, yes, exactly. Well, Juriander, he believes that worship of the many deities of this realm are all permitted, so long as they are not harmful to those around them. He doesn't care much for that blood sacrifice or ritualistic murder or any pillaging or anything of that nature. So if you are here to bring any of that, please turn around. Please. I can't fight you, Mr. Giant, or you, Mr. Dwarf, but, excuse me.
I'm actually a cleric of the natural force.
Oh, you're a cleric. Well, of course you're a cleric. I mean, you just exude clericness. Peace be with you, Holy One. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
So Richard, while they were like bumbling about and all that, Ozen was like take like some sort of like little piece of like little parchment paper and like kind of like write something on it and kind of like walk his way towards like to where Alucard is and be like nudge on his leg and he hands him like the thing that he wrote on and he like and Alucard reads it and kind of like makes his way like outside and kind of like to where the what did you say the priests walked to?
Yeah.
That's kind of where Alucard would like
try to follow like where the priesthood went.
Yeah.
Are you trying to kind of do this sort of stealthily, or are you
stealthily?
Okay. So is it both Alucard and Ozen?
It's just Alucard.
Just Alucard. Okay. So go ahead and give me a stealth roll as you're trying to kind of sneak behind this curtain.
That one.
So
the first two rolls.
Alucard kind of looks around and begins sort of stepping backwards just to kind of casually get out of this conversation. But he ends up stepping on something and snagging and then falls backwards and like sprawls on the ground. And when you turn around, Alucard, you realize that you've just stumbled over some poor woman's like dress hem, like the hem of her dress. You've stepped on it and like both of you have tripped and fallen in. Like there's this sort of this scene where people are like turned to see the commotion and she seems to have kind of bruised one of her elbows and she fell hard on it. She like stands up, like brushes her dress and is like, "Now, sir, I would expect an apology out of you when you stumble over a poor woman like that."
Ozen's just kind of like, he kind of like, that doesn't like I don't know this guy.
As she gets she like really takes in Alucard's appearance and she's like, "Oh, never mind." And she seems to walk off. And Alucard, the look she gives you is not entirely friendly.
I see.
Miss, I could heal that bruise of yours.
She kind of looks at you, looks back to you. I was like, no, I'm quite all right. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening. And she kind of makes her way off. Alucard, would you like to roll insight on that?
Sure.
Okay.
Mike can roll insight on that.
Alright.
17 total.
Okay, nice. So,
Holy shit.
Huh.
Sheets. I'm counting down. Give me a second.
alright.
23 total.
Wow. Okay, so the both of you kind of getting this impression. It seems she noticed your ears and how pointed they are, Alucard.
Yeah, right.
And then, like, she had immediately taken a different tone with you. Like, she was calling you out and, like, about to basically, like, scream at you. Not scream, but, you know, yell at you for tripping over
Basically
her.
be a Karen.
Bruising her.
That could be good.
No, not even necessarily being a Karen, but you
Right.
you just tripped over and basically like fell backwards onto her. So naturally she would be annoyed. Anyone would be.
Obviously.
But she had noticed your like ears and immediately her tone switched. She immediately turned to that more like respectful, like, "Oh,
Respectful,
never
not
mind.
aggressive.
Never mind." She seemed almost alarmed of his elven appearance or something, or possibly just like just an unwillingness to yeah. It seemed something about your elven heritage caused some bit of trepidation in her.
Great.
But nevertheless, you kind of get back up, brush yourself off, I assume.
Yeah, then Ozen kind of like steps in, kind of like, "What the hell is that all about, huh?" And Alucard is like, hell's if I don't know.
Right. So, that sort of all unfolds. This old man kind of looks over and is like, "Ha! Yeah, done fell over to yourself, pale one?
And he kind of, and then Alucard just kind of gives him like kind of like stared at her, shut the hell up.
Oh, none of that. Listen here, boy. If you think you can intimidate me after what we've gone through, you got another thing to learn about us Revolkans.
Can Mustema take that as a challenge?
To intimidate him, or
Yes.
I don't know. Do you? That's up to you. That's your prerogative.
I'm just wondering if you'd be bothered.
Hey,
If I'm taking too aggressive of a tone.
you do what you do. Play your character. I'm not gonna stop you. Just
So-
remember there are consequences for.
So you don't believe
Everything.
that we have the ability to intimidate you then?
Listen here, Sonny. I have been around a long time.
It's a 14, get me.
What exactly are you doing? Before just saying, what does a 14 get me?
How about this? I get up in his face and I squint real hard. And by get up in his face, I mean I'm on my tippy toes, and even then I'm like, please bend down.
You look up and seems something sort of flares within you, or something like in your eyes as he's looking into your eyes, like, all right. There's no need to get all like that now. Let's relax, okay? We're here to have an enjoyable evening. We're here to be safe from the outside, from the dark, okay? Now let's just enjoy the festivities.
What's wrong with the dark exactly? You ever been to the Underdark? It's an okay place.
Roll another persuasion, as it's been a while.
18.
Oh, well, I guess since we want. Yeah, you wouldn't know. Well, look, Revolka has long been the target of many rather brutal and violent attacks from beasts and raiders and other various creatures of the dark. And during previous attacks, many villagers were killed. And in Joriander's time, unfortunately, a small boy died in those attacks, and his father later took his own life. And Joriander, well, he feels responsible. We insist to him it's not his fault. These things happen. And tragic as they are, they happen. But he feels he could have better protected the village from the darkness and threats of the dark wood just on our border.
Question to the DM. What race is Joriander?
Joriander appeared to be human. Though Joriander, ever since starting these ceremonies of light, specifically, once he had brought them a very interesting moonshot, as he calls it.
Tell me more about the moonshot.
Yes, the moonshot. Well, ever since he brought it, the attacks have seemingly stopped. The village has been safe, and Joriander's been doing wonders for us. We haven't had an attack in months.
So there's no attacks, but he's still going outside to perform a ceremony?
The ceremony is happening within, and the ceremony is to continue the protection from the village. To ask the gods for their favor, essentially.
It's related to the moonshot.
Yes, the moonshot. Of course, Joriander is the possessor of this artifact, and it's used in this ritual to protect us. It is claimed, I'm not sure the truth of this, but what is the truth and what is fiction is hard to tell most times, I find. But some say that the moonshot fell from the moon itself during an intense Vicmoral ritual hundreds of years ago. And whether it's that, or it comes from another plane, or is just a magically enhanced artifact of great power and wizardry, I neither myself nor my fellow people really mind that much, if I'm being honest with you. It's doing wonders. It's been safer than ever, but
So it's a powerful artifact that he brought back one day. Sudden.
Jory and when he arrived in Revolta, he had this moon shard with him.
So he had the moon shard when he arrived, and yet a child still died on his watch.
Yes, it was some time before this ritual had begun. Oh, the old ways of performing the ceremony were mostly just worship around this great fire, which we must keep lit at all times. But he eventually adopted this extra ways of this ritual. Listen, I am not a holy man. I know little of these types of rituals, but I just know that eventually he introduced the moon shard into this ceremony, and the attacks have slowed down and somewhat altogether stopped. The dark wood has seemed less intimidating when we need to make ventures into it to chop trees and hunt for local game and other various reasons we need to venture out, and I need not question it, if I'm being forthwith with you.
Would it be worth doing a history check with Myken to see if he's heard of any such artifacts before?
I don't see artifacts like this before.
Myken.
Oh,
History
Myken.
and history
Sorry.
check.
Yeah, you may.
17.
17. That this man is you've never really heard of like a shiny rock. I mean, of course,
That makes me
there have been dozens and dozens and dozens of things you've read about, or learned about, of shards of various crystals, gems, various bits of stone that have said to have magical powers of some sort or another. You haven't heard of this specific thing called the moon shard, but if you stick around and see this ritual unfold, you might learn more about it.
Wait, I was gonna know something about it.
You can go ahead and do a check as well. Similar to Myken, you rack your brain about anything you've heard about something like this, and you've heard of similar objects, and heck, you have even witnessed the creation of objects said to, provide some measure of protection, or repellent enchantments, or something of the nature, but you've never heard of, and you haven't personally heard of something called a moon shard. Or at least this artifact that they seem to be discussing.
That's strange. Usually I would have something like this.
Very strange artifact indeed. It piques my curiosity.
That piques many individuals. That's why we have people coming from all over. Up and here, venturing far and wide, and coming, bringing tales of great adventure and troubles on the road as they witness our ceremony, and say it sort of makes them have this sense of security within their own beings as well.
You ever get a funglet besides me around these parts?
I can't say we have before, I don't believe. I've been here a good while, tall sir, but, well, Sirette, Mr. Mykin. I'll just call you Mykin. I don't think I've seen one of your kind before, though it is very, very interesting to meet you. You are quite tall. You are very quite tall.
Yes, I am. Though I weigh even more than you might expect, considering my height.
That's so. You know, if you're planning on sticking around here, I believe that we would have a good number of jobs to put you to.
If you're considering strength-based tasks, you should know my physical capabilities are quite mediocre.
Oh, I'm sure you're just saying that now.
No, really.
How could one of your stature be anything less than a gentle giant of massive fortitude and strength?
Fungi aren't very good muscle tissue, and most of my strength is used to support my massively dense form.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't really know how to respond to that. But, well, I mean, at the very least, it's really nice to meet you, Good Mykin. Oh, have I not given my name?
You really forget it.
Oh, I'm really bad at that, you know. Muriel always gets on me for not, you know, I always go off and ramble. My name's Eustace. Eustace Bags.
Good to meet you.
You have a very, very big hand.
Yeah.
Wait, no, you're more like... Because, yeah, you're very slow handshake.
You'd just be flailing my arm around.
Oh, yeah, he's like... Oh, yeah. It's like rubber hose animation.
Yeah, my muscles can't keep up with that.
Yeah, no, he's like shaking it, and then yeah, let's go. Like, oh, well, good to meet you. I'm gonna go get a bit more of that good wine they're serving tonight. They always bring out the best wine for these ceremonies. It's half the reason some of us come in here, I believe.
Well, it's gonna be half the reason I come back, says my stomach.
Ah, see? You know what for. And he kind of like, elbows your shoulder, because he's still kind of sitting down hunched on one of these pews. So he's actually somewhat head height with you. But he, seems to get up and, like seems a bit tipsy. And he, like, hobbles off to this, like, large banquet table, that's been set out. And, like, as, you guys are now kind of looking around, kind of taking in the sights, the sounds, the smells, and the general friendly, sort of atmosphere, you notice that standing, near to where you had entered, descending a, set of stairs is an acolyte, dressed in fine white robes, walking through this, like the rear of this crowd, kind of stepping aside and greeting him and things like that. People kind of with broad smiles, and as they do, twisting away from this firelight, their faces kind of fall in shadow. Like, very noticeable. As soon as they turn away from this light, there's just like a deepening shadow over their face that looks little unnatural given the relative well lighting of this atmosphere. as this acolyte is passing through the crowd, Juriander then reappears, now dressed in less of that like heavier armor. Seems to have swapped some of it for a more ceremonial type garb, and within you see his face like kind of all lit up as the gaze of the congregation follows him. The individual face is becoming equally illuminated. Dressed in very shining, like chain armor. It's just like brilliantly gleaming. You hear from the distance one of the townsfolk kind of say, "Guide us through the darkness so that there may be light." Others begin to shout phrases such as, "Juriander, please guide us, please protect us from the dark wood, devils." You hear another, "Protect us with light." All these voices shouting out from around the hall. Do you guys do anything as he's kind of like passing by you at all?
I think I might hide my face a little bit. This is a bit aggressive for me.
Okay, fair enough.
And I do mean that with my stem. I can sit here chill as a cucumber.
Yeah, I mean, also it'd be hard for him to hide his face. He's literally like a full person above everyone else here.
Yeah.
Sorry, anything?
So I say with Ozen, he'll probably be kind of like with him being being an info broker and all that. He'll probably just like going around and be like kind of like nonchalantly trying to like gather as much and like
Bits and pieces of information.
Yeah.
All right.
Without being too discreet.
Yeah. Without being too discreet, without drawing too much attention.
Right.
Being discreet means quietly doing it. Go ahead and roll a stealth check, and I'll just go ahead and rattle off some things that you may pick up.
Right. Stuff you said?
Yep.
17.
Okay, very nice. So, throughout the course of those guys interacting with this older fellow, you make your way around kind of casually, like maybe stop at the banquet table, pick up a plate of like steaming baked pastries, like a mug of some form of finely like fermented, hints of like apple, hints of mixed berries. You drink some. It has like a bit of a sharp, like kind of a cinnamony, spicy taste to it. It's very good. It's like a very nice hot cider drink.
Right.
There's like a slight like bitterness of like a hint of alcohol as if this had been fermented to it. But overall, it's just a very nice like soul-warming drink.
Right.
But as you're walking around, enjoying your drink and various pastries and such you may have picked up, you hear talk of Juriander and how, or him being the high priest of this cathedral, the fact that he venerates a rather distant god of war, is very tolerant of any deity if they show the same respect for what others believe in. You heard about that this village originally held a ritualistic ceremony on this day as well to ensure that the light returned after darkness reigned. Mike and Stella have learned. You heard bits and pieces of information about this moon shard, some sort of like gray, almost stone-like object, kind of long and prism-like in shape, and said to emit this like dull gray light, which might strike you as a bit odd, as light is not gray. But everyone that you like pass by and is talking about this, like just talking about this gray light that it emits. But
They say very much.
it's the fact that it's light that is emitting from the stone that they say is gray, and light is not gray.
Yeah.
But you keep passing by people and everyone's like swearing to this, and they seem to be having this general same talk. You hear different people talking about just ongoing stuff. Some people are struggling. Some people are finding that the fish harvest was actually pretty well this year. A number of various things. You get any number of greetings from various people. It seems like a very welcoming community, all things considered. As you're doing so, Juriander has made his way up to this, kind of right in front of this this giant blazing pyre. And turning around, he kind of clears his voice. Greetings, welcome to the Vigil for Light. Everyone, please, be welcome, be at peace. This vigil, of course, being to be safe from the dark. Please, for the remainder of this night, remain within the cathedral. At this hour, dangers abound outside. We will speak again once the moon shard has given us its dawn. He gives us this message out, and it's like, thank you. Some people continue to shout out, please keep us safe. And it's like, yes, my friends, you will, so long as we all remain within this temple that is oh so guarded, we shall remain safe. Just be close to those you care about and enjoy the mirth and the merriment for now. And we will begin the ceremony soon we will be beginning, soon, essentially. And he steps down, you guys just have more conversation with those around you. You overhear more of this, these people speaking, but overall, it's a generally joyous environment. Eventually, after say another hour or so of this this cheery celebration, I'll say. You see that Juriander now kind of calls attention to himself. He's standing at the front of this cathedral, and he pulls a long wooden torch from a wall, and using the brazier, he lights this very long torch ablaze. And as this torch sparks to life, it momentarily glows as brightly as daylight. It's just this bright flash of light from the end of this very long torch they grabbed from the wall right next to the brazier. And everyone in the hall, you look around, they seem very they have a face of content. And it's overall this very warm feeling that passes over everyone. And Juriander begins to chant a prayer, and all of these villagers kind of join in with him. It sounds like it kind of sounds like a complex drone of intertwining ideas that seems suited more to a clergyman than a shaman. sorry, to more of a shaman than a clergyman. So like a speaker of like rituals of nature and such, rather than like an actual like a priest. And after long minutes pass, the chant begins to fade, and eventually silence hangs heavy in the air. Jeriander clips a small wooden box from the back of his armor, sort of like pulling it off the back, and he slowly lifts the lid of it, and a dark gray stone. Those of you who kind of shuffled in, you get a good enough view. A dark gray stone begins to shine like crisp starlight, followed by a pulsing blue-yellow glow, which envelops his face. Children in the crowd gasp and call out, "The moon shard! It's the moon shard! Shh! Shh! I'm quiet! No, I know I'm being quiet, but it's the moon shard!" And you keep hearing this like hush of mostly children's voices, maybe a couple of older individuals who maybe had a sip too much to drink.
Sure.
Yeah, and you were like, "No," pointing like down at it.
I mean, yeah.
But as people keep calling us out, he carefully raises it from the box, holding it high for all to see, and he begins to call out words in a mystic language. And with each powerful word, the moon shard grows brighter and brighter as the air hums with energy. The crowd of villagers parts as Jeriander walks the aisle, continuing the ceremony. And suddenly, almost as if part of the ritual, the doors to the cathedral burst open. And the ceremonial gates rattle wildly in the blast as they blast open. These winds rush in. Several torches blink out in this rush of ice cold wind. You see two men, weapons on their backs and dressed in battered armor, stagger into the room, carrying a badly injured individual. "Help us! Please! Please help!" As one of them shouts, "We require healing, and our friends are at death's door. Please, the evils of the Darkwood are too many, too foul. Another outside's turned to stone, and yet I dare say that no one within these walls would fancy the face that lurks without. Please help."
Boring ceremony. Did I say that out loud?
As he's shouting, he's calling for help. You see several of the clerics at the front of the cathedral. Okay, so you see this very large, tall, well, not compared to this, probably roughly 6 foot tall.
It's tall for a human.
Yeah. Very big, thick brown beard, tannish skin, very hairy arms, these gold bracers around his arms, wearing a relatively simple shirt with red stripes along it, a belt, carrying a dagger in its sheath, and then holding over his shoulder this very large war hammer. He has this I don't know how to describe it other than this Russian winter cap on. The very heavy, thick, animal hide caps. Similar to an aviator's cap. But yeah. He turns around and seems to shout, Some help here! Quick! As he basically pushes aside this crowd. You see clerics kind of rush over. What are you guys doing as this is happening?
Might rush outside. Mike might try to heal it, but Mastema's gonna be like, "Save it for outside."
Okay, so you they're currently standing within the cathedral still. You rush over, and Mastema's you say, "No, save it. Let them do. Let them
Like, leave it to like the 50 other clergymen in here. You heal us if we get hurt out there.
All right, yeah, you do. You like say this. Let's see.
Also, you're gonna roll your eyes at me. How do you calculate to hit bonus for a weapon with proficiency?
It's plus your proficiency plus whatever stat you use. So if it's a dex-based weapon, you use proficiency plus your dex. If it's strength, proficiency, etc., etc. Okay. Okay. So you see that several people rush to the doors and like try to force them shut, and as they do so, people begin questioning these individuals. Like, what happened? What's going on? Jury-enders like trying to calm the crowd. It's like, just stay inside, everyone. Just remain inside. Return to the front of the cathedral. We must complete the vigil for light. Everyone begins like anxiously kind of looking around. They're not entirely sure. You see some people that are still kind of standing, almost like ready for something to happen. And Juriander makes his way to the front of the cathedral. You see these couple of injured, adventurous looking types move and take a seat. Their friend on their friend that seems to be struggling to emerge with consciousness, in and out of it. Several clergymen trying to attend to them. When Juriander restarts this ritual and he lifts this moon shard up for all to see once again, and he begins making his way down this aisle. And overall, the entire mood around this has changed. Before, it was in reverence, and now it seems almost in desperation to accomplish this ritual before something happens. And as he's moving down the aisle, yet again, the doors slam open. Another sudden snowstorm has blasted in, dumping yet more thick white flakes over the small village, with the small crowd around the door. This storm doubled with the wind whipping through from Serpent Lake. It's just blasting this loud, whining, droning noise that's whistling through here. However, it's completely drowned out by the ruckus made by a group of hunters swirling into the building, torches aloft. They seem crazed and set fire to the fabric of the cathedral. They're running around. People are screaming, what's going on? And then, let light come to us all, shouts one. Drive off the darkness with the light of the heavens, calls out another as she encourages flames to ignite a hanging tapestry, the fire spreading quickly, crawling up the material like a spider. Another intruder breaks a wooden gate down and tries to light the lacquered carving. The mayor is this very burly-looking bearded individual runs over to the individual by the broken gate. The whole congregation's looking around, unsure, what's going on? What's happening? Why is this? Juriander halts the ceremony and calls out towards you guys. Adventurers, please help us. These are good men and women. They must be under a curse's influence. Please stop them, but do no harm.
Oh my God, that was the last time I was told to do that.
So, as they say that, we're gonna go into combat.
Yeah. You seen Parasite?
Yeah.
I say, unsheath your sword as my arm transitions into that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna roll this. I need D&D Beyond for these spell rules. But, oh.
You just now realized.
You look up Shield of Faith.
So, rushing in from outside, these are the doors to the exterior. This is like that back plinth. That he ran in there. There. You two would be roughly like halfway through the cathedral, nearing right there.
Wow, this interesting, isn't it?
Do I apply my spell attack bonus to spell the saving throws?
Spell attacks, who spells it, who saves? No. Saving throws, the enemy tries to make a save using their stats versus your spell save DC. So with Sacred Flame, you're not actually rolling anything for it, they just have to roll against your save.
But, like the damage though.
Oh, damage. You typically they don't add your spell casting modifier to it. It's just whatever damage it says. Yeah, so this woman over here is the one that was setting fire to one of the tapestries. This one, this man in like closer to you guys, he's also waving a torch wildly, kind of setting fire to pews and such. So we will go ahead and roll up some initiatives.
Okay, then she still spells that they can be used in this combat. Alright. Woo! Nastema's going 9.
Ozan is going 12.
Okay.
Well, this die just failed me. Mycon's going 2.
Gotcha.
Alucard is going 22.
Okay, Alucard pulling ahead of the pack. So, with everything happening at once, these doors being blasted in, you see these individuals charging in. You see, actually, by the way, if you want to pass that around, that is what Jury Ender looks like. And this is the individual that is currently engaged with another. You guys are kind of clustered around here.
Are you keeping square?
5 feet. Yeah. There's probably standing off. So him and then.
More intense music. I mean, don't change it now.
But yeah. I don't want it to drown out too much. Anyways, so Alucard, you have actually gotten first in initiative, or you've won out initiative. So that being said, what are you doing?
He's gonna go ahead and go. Let's see. Go right here, so that he can go ahead and go in and attack.
Okay. So you're Alucard. You're rushing forward, and what are you doing after rushing forward?
Well, unfortunately, that as of right now, he is not within range to attack.
Okay.
So that's all he can do right now.
Are these two the only aggressors, or are these two also?
So, this is that rather burly fellow that you had seen before. He ran over and is stopping this person who just smashed a railing and is trying to set fire to it. So it seems like he's trying to stop that from happening.
Does it look like he's got it?
You look over and this, like, very big, like, bear of a man charging over, and, like, he just kind of tossed his warhammer to the side and, like, his... basically pounced on the person with the torch, and he's like gotten the torch out to the side and stamped it out and is like trying to wrestle this person down and stop them from like struggling. So he seems to be pretty well settled over there.
Okay.
But so Alucard, you're rushing forward. Do you want to just kind of ready yourself for them if they approach to?
Yeah. So yeah, he'll draw. Let's see. Let me see if he has anything other than his one spell he has. No, he only has Chill Touch, which he can't use within. I think he has to be within range 5 for that to work.
All right.
So that's all he can do right now.
There we go. Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's what that is. Cool. I was like, what the hell is going on? Cool. All right. Good to know. So, just remember myself. Okay. So, as you are rushing forward and you're running towards these people, make a perception check, Alucard.
Perception?
Yes.
4.
Okay. So, yeah, you're running forward, you're seeing these people, you notice them in rather, like, hastily dressed together garb, but you don't notice more than that. Anyways, so it's now Ozim's turn, or, yeah, Ozim. I got those right.
Ozim?
Yeah, Ozim.
Ozin.
Ozin. Oh, I've been saying Ozim. Okay, Ozin. Sorry.
For my life, you've been saying Ozin the entire time, and you're just high and thinking you've been saying Ozim.
Oh, maybe.
Alright, he's gonna go ahead and use an action to use Magic Missile on the guy who's trying to light shit up.
Okay.
So that's like 3d4s right there at him.
Yep, okay, and each of those get to add +1, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, magic missile. Yeah, it's, you shoot off 3 darts of force that each do a d4 +1.
d4 +1, yes.
Cool, so go ahead. All 3 at the male hunter, or the female? Gotcha, the woman. The female.
I love the Witcher music.
7 total damage +1 is 8.
Okay, nice. So she, like, you blast her thrice with, what does your magic missile look like? Does it look like anything different, or just kind of darts of white force energy?
The missiles were having to look like shapes of, you probably imagine as like miniature versions of javelin missiles. So they look like miniature javelin missiles, except the ends kind of look like like you would see at the end of a harpoon.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you like blast forth these 3 darts of magical force, and they like hit this woman 3 times and blast her. She takes it hard, falls backwards, and like stumbles against this chair, and she seems like she's not getting back up, at least for the time being. And as that happens, is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay, so, oh, shoot. Another individual rushes in from, through the doorway, carrying this torch, waving it wildly, is going to run at, Alucard. Alucard, you get an opportunity attack as they do so.
Okay. 8. I got 18 plus 6. 24.
24 to hit. Wow, yeah, that hits. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, okay. 7 damage. 7
Okay,
piercing.
nice. Are you going for like lethal stabs, or are you trying to hit parts that like hurt and cripple them? But...
Probably like that would like cripple them.
Okay, yeah. So you like stab, it's with a longsword, right?
Rapier.
Oh, rapier. Gotcha. So very quickly, as she's rushing in, you stab this individual in the leg, and they take a hard stumble, and as their leg twists, it like slices deeper, and they fall over the ground. They're grabbing their leg in pain, and they're screaming in agony as this deep wound that you've just dealt to them. They are out of the fight. All right. So that was their turn. It is now Mastema. Mastema. That's it. I will get it eventually. Mastema, it is your turn.
You don't have to say the full thing. You can give him
All
a
right,
nickname.
Mast.
Okay.
Mast, it's your turn.
Full mast. Okay.
Full Mast.
Okay. That being the case, let's just see. Well, this person already died. Yeah.
That's
Or, no.
representative of Alucard.
I meant the one who is.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. They're technically unconscious. Yeah.
And that's as far as I can get.
Okay.
And I didn't pick up my ranged mutation.
Do you want to kind of prep yourself for them to move in on you then? Like, hold action?
Sure.
Okay, you do so. As you do so, you also you see another woman rushes in. This one having like sort of a headdress on. Make a perception check as you are watching her kind of rush in through this like blast of snow that like flies into the building.
13.
Okay. So with the 13, you are able to perceive that this hastily assembled headdress is like protecting the top of her head, and it seems to kind of be like loose enough in the back where it's starting to kind of slip. So that's going to be your turn. It is now this individual's turn, who's going to run forward at you like he's crazed, wielding this torch, and like goes to swing it at you as you get your opportunity, or as you get your reaction.
Okay. That must have. That's gonna. It misses. It missed.
What was it?
They rolled a 2.
Oh yeah, total.
It's a total of an 8.
Sorry, an 8 doesn't do it. But that's
Yeah.
insane that 2 makes an 8. That's, yeah, so you, like, swing forward with... What does your weapon look like?
You see my arm?
I do.
Alright, so imagine this, my forearm, my entire forearm was a blade. Have you seen Parasite the Maxim?
Yeah.
Legitimately that.
So, big, fleshy sword arm.
Yes.
Exactly like that. Like, super sharp. So you slice this thing at them. He, like, dives down to his knees, slides underneath it, brings himself up, and smashes you across the side of the head with this blazing torch. Okay, so... actually, as he does so, you, like, the heat, rushes in, starts burning your face, you duck down, and it, like, swipes just above your head. As he, like, does so, he's, like, on the backswing, like, as he's, like, getting up off his knees to try to, you know, carry on with his, like, assault against you, the, no, it's now, Myken's turn.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys.
Okay. Myken... He can hit over that, right?
You're short, he's tall.
I mean, yeah.
Just...
Yeah. Myken's going to first use a first level spell slot to cast Shield of Faith. Yeah,
Shield of Faith.
Shut the fuck up. Shield of Faith on the Stemma, increasing their AC by 2. As long as I maintain concentration on that. And then, that was his bonus action. Now he's going to use his action to cast Sacred Flame on this individual right here.
Gotcha. Well, actually, they have to make a saving
You're right,
throw
that
against
is
her.
that is. I was so happy whenever I realized that, because I was like, yeah, that would...
What's your DC?
It's... Give me a second. 14.
Okay, that's enough. They failed. Oh yeah,
Then I rolled it. Or do you
yeah,
roll it?
you
I
roll
rolled the
damage.
Okay.
I rolled a save against it.
1.
Okay.
One
So,
point damage.
what does your sacred flame look like exactly?
Well, my fungal spores sort of open up to make way for this spory pod that halfway along its path ignites abruptly in this glowing greenish flame.
Okay, nice. Yeah, exactly. You like lift one of your arms, and forth flies a pod exactly like you said, and it incinerates itself. And then this wave of green flame washes over him as he tries to like dive out of it. But it's enough where it like burns and sears the back of his head with radiant damage.
Mm-hmm.
So that is your turn.
Yes.
Okay. Another individual rushes in from the back, and standing there, they're going to set fire to this pier right here, or like this the bench right there. They like lift this heavy, like seemingly metal-soled shoe they're wearing, and they smash in the bench, and they chuck their torch into it, or not chuck it, but they're like smearing their torch on it to get that like oil to soak into it and set it ablaze. That being their turn, Alucard, it is back to you finally.
Okay, so he's at Alucard will rush in ahead here to target the one that just moved in, and try to light this thing there.
Okay, go ahead.
With his rapier.
All right.
22.
Yeah, that's enough. Alucard doesn't miss.
That would be 12 damage total.
Okay, yeah. You like stab downwards, or like stab forwards, and as they're like stomping in this thing and like lighting this torch, they see you and they turn to spin this torch at you, and just as you do so, you stab a like deep wound into their side that they grab, and like they fall to their knee and they're like clutching at it, and the torch falls out of their hand, and it seems like something in their eyes, like some like glazed over madness, kind of fades, and they're looking around in panicked confusion, like what the heck's going on? Like they're grabbing their side, they're bleeding profusely. They are out of the fight.
As a refresher, I can use my movement. Can I use my movement in between my action and bonus action?
Yeah, you get your
and
movement.
I can use either of those in either order.
Yeah, you can do anything in any order, and your movement you can break it up as much as you like. D&D's cool like that. Anyways, so that's Alucard's turn. It is now this woman who rushed in, and as she's rushing in to attack Ozim. Or attack Alucard, rather. Alucard, make another perception check about this person.
Not one.
Okay. You don't notice much more than a
He
flaming
doesn't
torch.
miss, but he doesn't perceive shit.
Yeah, exactly. That was cocked. There we go.
The thing is, he has proficiency in perception.
So, Alucard, this lady brings a torch smashing into your face twice, and you are going to take 4 points of combination of fire and bludgeoning damage. So 4 points total of damage.
Ouch.
As she smashes you across the face, and there's just this smear of like hot burning oil that's stuck to you now.
You doing good, buddy?
So that's her turn. Ozin, it's your turn.
Yeah. Let me go, let's see. This is speed, 30. Like, let's see, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
You can move through your allies.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
And you can move diagonally, just for 5 feet, rather than side and side.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15,
Yep.
20.
Okay.
And then he's got to go ahead and do magic missile again to the one that hit Alucard.
Okay.
Let's see.
You don't roll to
right.
hit with magic missile. You just hit 3 times, and
Well,
then you get to roll damage.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's alright.
No.
Yep, 3d4 plus 3.
How many times today have people rolled for spells that they didn't have to?
10. Plus,
Shit.
plus 1 is 11.
Plus 1?
Yeah, because don't forget.
It's plus 3, because you hit her with 3 darts.
Oh, so 13.
Each dart gets a plus 1, yeah.
So 13.
So you, once again, channel up this, how did you describe it?
It was, imagine it being like a javelin missile, but the end is like, you see what you see at the end of like the sharp end of a harpoon.
Okay, yeah. So you conjure up these 3, like, missiles that fly forth, streaming these jet propulsions of, like, just sonic energy. And as they smash into her 3 times, one time, like, slams back her head. The other time actually smashes into the torch she's wearing, or she's carrying, and smashes it. And it, like, sprays it sprays this burning oil into her face. And she screams, and you hit her again. And she's staggering backwards, and as you're looking at her, her headdress is like burning away. She tore it off and like threw it to the ground. It's like batting out the flames. And looking at her, Alucard, being standing right there, you see pointed ears. But not only that, at the tips of them, that was hidden, they shift from this like pale complexion to dark tips. Like she had donned makeup, and she hadn't covered the top of her head because of some sort of haste, and you see the dark tips in this like dark upper brow that then gets to this like bundled up white, snow white hair. And as you like blast her 3 times, I assume that's your turn.
Correct.
She like in pain from these hits that you did. She looks around like realizes what's happened, and she's gone. She throws her hands up and quickly makes a rapid gesture in the air that you would recognize as spell casting, and so would Mykin. And she is suddenly gone. She is no longer here.
Okay.
Interesting.
And then it is going to bring it to this individual's turn, and he's as he's going to smash downwards this torch into you, he pauses, and he looks around, looks at the torch, looks around, seeing the damage inside the cathedral, and he throws down, stamps out this torch, and is like, what happened? He shouts. He's very clearly alarmed of what's happening. He's like, I swear, I didn't mean to do any of this. That's his turn. So, also, the man that this individual that you haven't gotten the name of yet has wrestled the ground. Also seems to have stopped struggling. It seems at this point that the remaining hunters that have been rushing in, they stopped and looked around, all confused of what's happening. Do you guys continue to?
Don't worry about under the spray.
It might be in the car.
In the car?
In the cup holder.
Good job. But you look around and they seem to have lost whatever drive they had to fight. Do you guys continue to attack? Or press the attack?
No.
No.
Alright.
Well, I mean, Mastema might. And then Mykin just goes in, grabs his little head again.
Yeah.
He's like, no, we're done here.
Alright. So, that's the end of combat. Very nice. We'll leave you all there for now. So, the, as this, sudden, immediate, explosion of, chaos had occurred and just as quickly died out, the people that you had, not, slain, but had, disabled temporarily, can't think of the words. Anyways, that you had stopped from continuing what they were doing. You see clerics rush over to them and quickly begin administering wrappings of wounds. Some that are in more severe condition. You see weak levels of healing magic beginning to ebb from certain members of these clerics' fingers, tips into these individuals, and finally, the congregation settles down after a moment, and Juriander once again moves back up to here and calls everyone's attention and is like, we must complete this ritual, for the night is near, for the dawn is nearly upon us. My great thanks to you adventurers who have helped incapacitate our friends here, who seem to have been not of their own mind for the time being. And we shall question more in just a moment as after this ritual has thusly commenced. And you see a number of clergymen quickly rush up to the stage, hand him a couple of items, and they seem to take their places on either side of him. And once again, this ritual that has been twice attempted begins to proceed once again. This time, most of the people sitting around, they're respectful and they're quiet, but they are very clearly no longer like showing the same sort of calm, blissful reverence towards this ritual as before. Now, most of these people their attention is at the door. They are just waiting for the next thing to come stumbling in, whether it be whatever. Alucard, you actually hear whispers from people that were near the area where you had been fighting.
Right.
Is that a Drow? Did you see that? Her ears are pointed. The Drow, like, and you keep hearing this word, like, over and over. Drow.
Someone drowning?
Drowning! Others who, like, hadn't been there, like, getting this bits and pieces of information. What happened? Who was she? She disappeared, like, you know, like, all this, chatter. But, finally, Juriander once more, holding this moon shard aloft, with a powerful chanting, there's a bright wave of energy that flashes outwards throughout the cathedral. Then flows back to the moon shard and begins forming a glowing blue gateway centered upon the stone. Through the portal, several orbs begin to emerge, one after the other. And as soon as they enter the room, all normal light patterns warp and are drawn towards them. It's like they are siphoning light into them as they like pop out of the central glowing blue portal. And as this attracted glow swirls towards them, they begin spiraling around this single, spiraling around the spheres, and then coalesces into a single dark floating orb. Judging by the gasps and screams of panic erupting from the crowd, this does not normally occur during the Vigil for Light ritual.
Well, we can't be sure about that.
Right. The orb begins to circle around Juriander, spinning wildly, and begins to lash out with cold, cloying bolts of darkness that send him sprawling onto the ground. The moon shard falls, and then through a crack and falls to the ground, and then through a crack in the floorboards to somewhere down below. You can almost feel the frigid, lifeless grasp of some ancient evil slip its fingers around the artifact as it's dragged out of sight and through the cracks. The High Priest, prone, seems frozen in place as the orb assaults him. Juriander, no! As one of the villagers calls out, he charges forward, pulling a short metal candle holder from its bracket at the end of the pew. Swinging the makeshift weapon, he seems to hit the creature. The orb is unaffected, but before anyone can step forward, it strikes the charging man with a ray of light that forces him down to his knees, and screams erupt from the villagers as one as they panic. Suddenly, people are running everywhere, into both sets of stairs, outside into the darkness of the storm. Some charging up down the cathedral steps into the basement below, just everywhere. It's scatter, it's mayhem, it's panic. As you see them like plunging out into the darkness beyond, you see silhouettes in the darkness begin to slowly shamble towards the cathedral in a very stumbling-like manner. Gray shapes just at the edge of vision. And as people are running out of the store screaming, you hear blood-curdling cries of alarm, and you hear the sounds of crunching of bone and sudden smashing of flesh. As this is happening, go ahead, and if you guys would like, go ahead and make perceptions. You can try to see further what's happening outside. So
For both?
drink. Huh?
For both?
Currently, yeah.
6 total.
Just roll with your primary.
6 total for Alucard.
Okay.
Uh,
I guess roll with both.
Great, because Mastemo rolled a 1.
Cool.
Ozen rolled a 2.
Okay.
So 2 total.
Cool.
Perception?
Yes.
21.
Okay, so, Myken, you the sole one that notices and are able to identify these shapes outside. They're very clearly zombies. The way they're moving, the way they're approaching the temple, in a massive horde that seems to be almost in a like U shape that's like crawling through the village from around buildings and around corners, and people are screaming as they're seeing outside, but looking back in at the floating giant, not giant, but the floating like dark entity within the building itself, lashing out at people, leaping these dark bolts towards them. They're just like taking off into the darkness. You hear screams of villagers, cries of people. That bearded fellow that you had seen before steps up and steps up to you guys, and he tries quelling the chaos, calling out, "Unsheath your blades, stout fellows, and let us rain ruin upon whatever these fiends are within the grounds of the cathedral." He hits his great glowing maul and moves towards the front doors. Sage Statel appears from within one of the storage areas. They're one of the individuals that you would have met. And a pair of what looked like ice crampons strapped around his forearms to make gruesome-looking claws. So ice crampons are those big, giant claws people will, like, lock into ice blocks to pick and move them. So they're, like, strapped onto his arms like giant, crab claws, essentially.
Like giant crab claws?
They're like the size of an arm. They're like a size of an average arm. So attached to it so it stretches out. He exchanges glances and nods with his, with that bearded man. And then they rush out the front door with many of the villagers in tow. As they pass outside into the storm, they're suddenly surrounded by a mob of walking dead. The mayor you don't know he's the mayor. This man turns towards your group, and shouts back into the cathedral, "You've shown yourselves capable. Please, save the clergy. Most are little more than untested students, and protect the cathedral. I'm off to defend the rest of my village."
Who are you to tell us what to do, random man who's
He
definitely
turns
not the
around once
mayor?
again. "I'm the mayor."
Oh my god, he's the mayor!
Thank you for that plot convenient way of getting across that I'm the mayor. He does not say it out loud. So he races out into the storm to confront the undead, the congregation grabbing various solid-looking items from around the cathedral, while you're left in charge of the situation within the rapidly emptying building. As, we'll have to roll up initiative again.
Great, maybe this time my stomach can actually do something.
Yeah. Maybe.
Exactly. And good thing is, we got here at evening, so it's currently either evening or night.
Yep, it is now night. It has been long
So,
enough.
no disadvantages because of stupid sunlight sensitivity.
Yes.
Ideally, we'll never have to deal with sunlight sensitivity, but that's probably not going to be how this goes.
Yeah. Here are the hosts. Anyways. Alright, so flip here.
Wow, okay. Well, Mastema heard me because they got a 20. But Maiken is decided to go initiative 2. Again.
Okay, so Oza decided to go initiative 6, and Alucard decided to go initiative 17.
Alright. You said initiative 17, Alucard?
Yes.
Alright. So, that brings them, and them, bam, and then, Mastema, or Maiken pulling on the rear. So, Mastema, As actually, I have to grab the creature. That way you guys can see what you're fighting.
It's like a glowing orb of light, right?
Yes, actually. This is the entity that has sprung forth. He's run outside to fight with his companion. Did I pick you up, Bobby? Yep. No. Maybe. Yeah, this is Alucard. He was kind of standing back there. Yes. Okay.
Hiding the fact that earlier I read this.
Yeah. But also, for a larger image, what the entity looks like is a giant, not giant, but a glowing swirl of dark energy with a surrounding...
Looks pretty bright, man.
With a surrounding ring that's, like, embossed with all these glowing runes. As it's, like, continuing to swirl and spiral in this, rotating manner. It's lashing out these bolts of energy towards anyone that's left within this temple that has tried to take cover beneath these pews.
Mastema might be picking up the... what's the speed that gives you a bunch of extra movement? The feat.
Oh, you're talking about,
Nimble.
mobile. Mobile.
I'm not picking that up as soon as I hit level 4. At this rate.
Fair enough.
It's there as a prop. You could use it as a prop.
Yeah. If only this thing had hands and a weapon. Anyways, go ahead, Mastema. Your go. Yeah, they're really appearing on either side. He's just far enough away to...
Yup. Okay. Actually, I might just pick up a ranged mutation. Little Port can do that as well. I will advance and I guess brace myself for the fight to come.
Okay. You, like, rush forward, like, holding your bladed arm in front of you, ready to taste the blood, or lack thereof, of this creature. Alucard.
Yes.
Is now your turn.
Okay, so...
My bladed arm is shielded, so...
Yes. Nice.
For now.
He's gotta go right here,
Okay.
and he's gotta do the same thing.
Just kind of prepare yourself if this thing strikes out towards you.
Yeah.
Okay. You do so. And it is, the entity... It is now at this time the entity begins spiraling further and further, and you hear almost this dark chanting. Like, emanating from it. And then, it, like, suddenly blasts out these two bolts. One at, Alucard and one at, Mastema.
Would I have dropped concentration on my Shield of Light by now, or...
How long does it last?
10 minutes, I think?
No. This happened right after the encounter.
Then I have
you're
a
probably
plus-
at, like, the tail end, maybe last 2 minutes of it.
Alright, then Mastema has 18 AC.
Okay, so, it blasts forth, this dark bolt towards you, and, your, like, shield, like, this emanating shield of light out in front of you just deflects this dark bolt. But Alucard, you are going to get hit. Like, suddenly, this blast of dark, like, necrotic energy rages through your form. You're gonna take, 5 necrotic damage, Alucard, and then make a wisdom save.
Right.
You said 5?
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing too well.
Yep. And then make a wisdom save.
I assume... I'm gonna play it like a peasant.
Nat 20.
Okay, nice. So you begin feeling your body like kind of freeze up as you're blasted and this is raging within you, but you overpower it by sheer will. And that is its turn. Ozen's turn.
Right. Let's see. Probably should not have that. He's gonna go like right there,
Okay.
and then he's gonna go and let's see,
So you use 2 spell slots, so you got cantrip slots, basically.
Mind Sliver.
Okay. So what does that do?
Mind Sliver, I believe it's a range of 60.
Okay.
If I'm correct on that. No, a range of 120 feet.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, no. Yeah, I'm right, a range of 60 feet.
Okay. Still good.
So, he needs, this needs to make, that thing needs to make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay. It succeeds. Unfortunately.
Fuck. So it takes no psychic damage.
Okay.
From what I understand is that yeah, I believe that's what I understand is that if it fails, it does 1d6 of psychic damage.
And then nothing if it succeeds because it's a cantrip.
Right.
Gotcha. Alright, yeah, so you, like, utter this, word or something and, like, send this pulse of psychic energy towards it, but it seems to, have such, like, an abstract consciousness about it that it's hard to, like, hit it with this type of spell. At least this time, it seems to have succeeded. So, that being said, it is now Myken's turn.
Just reading up on some rules for the class. Okay, it's already in range. Let's hit that bad boy with a Sacred Flame.
Okay.
14 dex.
It unfortunately, you blast out this another pot of this, and it like quickly dives out underneath it, almost as fast as light would travel.
Oh.
Seems very quick. So that is your action, but you still get a bonus action if you have anything. And you have not cast a leveled spell, so if you have a bonus action spell, you can actually cast it.
No.
Okay. So that's going to bring it to the end of your turn, Myken, and then back to the top of the round. Mastema, it is your go.
Right. Okay, finally moving in on this creature.
Alright.
For the love of God. Also, apparently level 2, I get an extra 10 movement.
Oh, nice.
So I'm so excited for that. Just Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
And now first we're gonna hit this bad boy. Whipping out the sword arm.
Slicing through that light.
Slicing through that light.
Okay.
Let's see how this shit turns out. And
Purple vortex of dark energy. That's what I was trying to say earlier, I think. Anyways.
You ruined his mojo, man.
Yeah.
13.
13 to hit. That just misses as you slash. It's like it passes through the ring, but doesn't seem to really do anything.
Then I'm going to use my bonus action to extend a slight pseudopod from my brow with its own tiny little itty bitty dagger blade on it.
Okay, awesome.
It's going to aim straight for it with...
As you can't aim for your dice tower.
Go to hell. 13 again?
It didn't hit before, it didn't hit this time.
Yeah.
So you slash through it with your bladed arm, and as it cuts through the ring doing nothing, your eyebrow bursts forth this tendril, which any of you watching it might look quite disturbing. And it's this like reddish flesh as it stabs outwards, and
This
then
is how I shave my brows.
yeah, like passes through this thing, and then you like whips back into your forehead with a slapping sound. But unfortunately not actually hit it, and he's dead. Unfortunately not actually dealing any damage. Alucard.
Right, so he's gotta go right here. Attack uses. So he's gotta.
That's not a rapier.
So he's gotta go ahead. Fuck both of you.
Trunks' voice, the character he played on this channel that used a rapier.
So I'm not. So.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So Alucard, like, gets in there and uses his rapier to attack the stand thing.
Okay.
13.
Guys, I've told you before, 13 doesn't work. You slash towards this thing, and it like just like jets out of the way. And then as it's like continuing to spin and orbit around itself, and now seeing the two targets before it.
Don't kill Alucard, please.
Is that the card doing okay on health?
No, not really.
Oh.
It is going to disengage. Yeah, it's going to take the disengage action as it hovers upwards higher above you. And like it continues to spin and rotate, getting out of your reach. And that's its turn. Bringing it to Ozen's.
Up above us, out of our reach.
He's gotta get my
Out of their reach, at least.
Mind
Yeah, I mean,
Sliver.
out of melee range.
He's still in range. He's still in range of the Mind Sliver, right? Of my.
Yeah. He's still in your Mind Sliver range.
Okay, so Ozen's gotta do a Mind Sliver again.
Alright. Are you sure it's an attack roll and not a saving throw?
Oh, that's right. It's a saving throw.
Do you know the effective healing word, by the way?
Intelligence.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh. It's you utter a word, it's a bonus action, and it heals 1d4 plus, I think, their wisdom mod.
So don't forget intelligence saving roll.
Natural 20.
Fuck.
You once again utter this thing at this like magic flying ray of, or like just swirling vortex of dark energy, and it doesn't seem to unfortunately do anything to it, as it just like harmlessly passes through. So assumingly that's your turn, Myken, it's now yours.
It's bonus action, right? I'm going to use my last spell slot, Healing Word on Alucard.
Okay.
And that's going to... Where's my... Ow, fuck! I stabbed myself on a d4.
Nice.
It's easier than it sounds, okay? That's going to be 8 health.
Awesome.
Okay, Alucard. You hear this utterance from Myken, and suddenly this puff of, I assume, spores, like...
This, it's always going to be spores,
like
Myken.
this puff of, like, the spore cloud just rushes towards you, and you might, like, as you turn to see what he called out, like, you hesitate as you take this cloud of spores into your, like, senses, and as you breathe in, you feel them kind of like plant and latch in and then send these tendrils of healing energy through you. You feel your wounds kind of heal up. You feel these darker, like, black marks that have been left on your body from, like, scorched flesh suddenly heal over as you are doing much better than before.
Remember,
Hell yeah.
Myken has really good breath.
Yeah, he has really good breath. That's it.
Remember that, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, with my action, well, just to make sure we are in range, let's just move up a little bit. Sacred Flame, Dex save, 14.
Boots. We're not that type of people, alright? I saw what you did there.
Okay, fuck off.
Okay, it failed.
Okay, in that case, it's going to take 5 damage.
Okay, very nice. You blast this thing, and the first time actual damage had been dealt to it.
Woo!
Um,
Biking for the win.
Yeah. Let's see.
Fucking the cleric got the first hit. No.
Yeah, that's a bad omen. So you blast this thing, and this, like, radiant light passes through and seems to almost, like, spasm within its form as it's, like, this dark versus light energy, but eventually its dark energy overpowers that light. But it does seem to spin slightly slower than before. So your attack did take effect to it.
By the way, would you consider my small pseudopod to be its own mutation or not?
Is that what is it in your class?
It doesn't say, but it does say that I need to apply the light. I need to make all of my mutations light in order for me to get my plus Constitution bonus, which I assume could either mean because I need. Well, I mean, obviously it means because I need to be able to do as many things as I can as fast as I can in the turn in order for it to work. But I'm also wondering if it considers like that also needs to have the light, or if me having my regular mutation be light, that being its own thing. Like if that's already fast enough to get the additional.
I'd imagine the pseudopod out of your face is like a dagger, essentially. Daggers are light.
Alright.
It's like a very small dagger. I don't know. It sounds fine to me. I don't know your class that well. So
I mean,
it's very unique. So yes, it sounds good. Sounds good. I think you guys need all the help you can get right now.
Okay.
So
it doesn't
anyways,
help right now. It's going to help after a long rest, but it will make the next combat after a long rest significantly easier.
good to know. That being said, it is Mask's turn. Yeah, Mask's turn.
Okay. Mask is it still out of reach? Okay. God, that long rest can't come soon enough. Okay.
It's hovering roughly 30 feet up.
Oh.
No, this chapel is not that high up. 15. Yeah, 15 feet up.
Wait a second. Are there any notable standard creatures that are about 15 feet tall?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
The closest person here would be,
I mean, not
Lycan.
like races, species that can reach 15 feet. That Mastema would know about. Because there's no height limit on my transformation ability.
The tallest folk you've encountered is probably the Mycans.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or the Funglets. I mean, is 10 feet their max, roughly?
Their max is 10'5".
Okay. I mean, with 10'5", all you need is a 5-foot reach.
I guess I do have that. Alright. I'm going to use up all of the extent of my body's energy
Okay.
to forcefully transform myself using what's the title of this ability? Give me a second. Using inconspicuous form. Except this is going to be very conspicuous.
Yeah, alright.
As I transform into a 10-foot 5-inch Mycan in mere seconds.
Okay.
And you could see me under noticeable stress and strain afterwards, as I now have disadvantage on all strength, dexterity, and con checks, and have to maintain concentration to keep the form.
Okay.
And that will be my action.
Alright. Do you have any bonus action stuff you can do?
No.
Sounds good. So, you watch Ozen as the individual that you know as Mast has just suddenly sprouted upwards and is now a lumbering giant, just similar to Myken, with, you know, various differences. I'm assuming maybe like a red-capped Myconoid, or Funglet.
Funglet, yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, red-capped, you know.
I mean, let's make it blue. How about blue?
Alright, a nice blue-capped Funglet. Like, you just see him sprout upwards and completely shift forms. That being said, it is now Alucard's turn.
Alucard!
This thing is 15 feet in the air. Keeping that in mind.
Would I be able to, get up, find a way up there via, having someone, so I can attack?
If you'd like, you can ask Myken, you can ask Myken to throw you for something. Or, try climbing the new very tall mast. He's no literal mast right now.
Yeah, I'll climb up mast.
Alright, make an acrobatics check as you do so. As mast is being climbed.
Acrobatics, right?
Yep.
21.
Okay, yeah, that'll do. You quickly scramble up mast, and you're now, balancing on his very sturdy, tall shoulders.
This is the most conspicuous form.
Yeah. the most conspicuous form.
A dwarf in a gnome in a trench coat.
Yeah.
Alucard is just Alucard, what the fuck are you?
Alucard's the elf.
We are all powerful.
All powerful.
Shorty squad turned to tall squad.
So I'm gonna go ahead. Then Alucard will go attack. Is he within reach to do chill touch?
Chill touch, isn't that a ranged spell?
Let me check.
We need to print out spell details.
Yeah.
For the love of God.
It is touch.
Okay, yeah. You're within touch, now standing on masts. Very, very tall shoulders.
Okay.
All of a sudden.
9, 16.
Hey, that's not 13, it hits.
That's not 13.
Anything but 13 hits. That's the one number you can't roll.
What? That's my favorite number to roll.
I'm sorry.
8 necrotic damage.
Okay, very nice. So you reach out and this necrotic energy starts sapping this light away from it. And it definitely does damage, but maybe not as much as you were anticipating with it. It probably has resistance to it. Just to make that as clear as possible.
So he has resistance.
Yes, it seems to resist your necrotic touch.
Interesting. Good to know.
Yeah. That being said, it is now the Lantern's turn. And it is going to try blasting Alucard from the shoulders of... oh wait, also...
I made a mistake, but I'm not going to mention it till we're out of combat because preserving consistency.
Fair enough. Okay, I understood. Alucard, you are getting blasted twice, but they're at disadvantage because it is within melee of you.
What's considered medium height, by the way?
Medium height up to 8 or so feet.
Okay.
Or medium height is different than a medium-sized creature. You're still technically a medium-sized creature, even though you're a lumbering giant.
Okay, but what is medium height? Because
so it blasts you twice, and both bolts flying wildly different directions. Depends on the species, really, but if you're talking the average medium height across all of these species, probably ends up roughly like being like 6 foot or something.
Alright. Don't you dare threaten me with that nut. Sheetsicle sheets go
Big
on the
stretch.
wall.
Okay, so
Go fuck
that is the lantern's turn. It essentially does nothing. I keep wanting to call you Alucard for like Alucard every time I look at the initiative order. But Ozin, it's your turn.
Thanks. So you gotta go ahead and try for Mind Sliver again.
All right.
So saving throw.
So, yes, it does. Right. That's me. You won't guess what I rolled 2 of. Actually, no. I rolled a nat 1 and a natural 20, but it has advantage, so it got the nat 20 again.
Technically 2 crits.
Yeah, it did.
Let's go.
It also crit save off his last
let's
attack.
Where'd I put that gun?
So, Alucard, is that your whole turn? Oh wait, no. I mean, Ozin, is that your whole turn?
Yes.
Okay. Mykin, you're up.
Okay. Yes. Alright, we're gonna Sacred Flame this bad boy. Dex save 14.
Gotcha. Okay, it is failed. Go ahead and roll
Okay.
damage.
I love how he's the only one that gets a failure.
Yep.
7 damage.
Very nice.
Man, I hope you're enjoying this shit.
7
I
damage.
doubt Matt will ever hear this.
Probably not, but still.
What kind of damage was it again?
Radiant.
Right. Gotcha. Nice. So, you send another spore puff at this this like floating, spiraling lantern creature, and it blasts another hole into it that seems to sap in and absorb that light once again. And trying to nullify it, it seems a little bit weaker at nullifying that light into darkness again. But nevertheless, it does so, and that is your turn, I assume? No bonus actions, no nothing like that?
Yes.
Cool. So, back to Mastema. The new second funglet of the party. Fungit.
Yes. Alright, okay. I'm going to swing with my arm. Does a 20 hit?
A 20 hits.
Okay.
Oh wait, let me just... Yeah, no, a 20 miss.
Oh, damn. We missed Johnny. Anyway.
Yeah.
And Stefan, now that I think about it, that got cocked. We need to roll. Okay, that's going to be 7 damage.
Okay, very nice.
And then, as a bonus action, let's swing again, baby! Eyebrow goes even harder, 21. Fucking eyebrow dagger.
Yep.
Eyebrow dagger does 3 damage.
Okay. So, what happens is this giant funglet with this like stalk of like razor thin mushroom. It just looks like a mushroom stalk that has been carved away and then hardened into like an iron-like sheen. Slices through this thing, and then this like mushroom just straight up punches outwards from your face and slams into this thing and rockets back into your head again. As it cuts 2 noticeable like slashes as it's like now stirring up this spiraling vortex of energy that's now starting to like spew off like bits of this purple energy randomly. It is seemingly you guys have started to do a good bit of damage to it, but it's definitely still very aggressive towards you. And that's your whole turn, Masta?
Yes.
Cool. So, It's going to bring it to Alucard again.
Okay.
Will he hit, ladies and gentlemen? Find out this time.
Jesus.
A lot of enemies be flying up 30 feet in the air.
I don't know. Maybe.
Bruh.
24 hit.
I gotta pick up.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta pick up more ranged attacks, man.
Yeah, you guys don't have, like, very much range at all.
No,
No.
we don't. We have a fighter and an Underterror, which, I mean, I can be ranged, but I didn't spec into that.
Mm-hmm. You gotta be balanced.
12 points total.
Of damage? Holy shit, yeah. I fucking just casually, oh yeah, I did 12 points of damage. At level 1. So, you stab out with your rapier and quickly make a rapid succession of motions that almost like carve an A into this lantern archon. Well, shit, I wasn't supposed to say that. Into this, like, this entity, as, like, this spiral, like, struggles and kind of pitters and patters, and then it starts regaining momentum again and continues spiraling. Anything else you'd like to do?
Let's see. Let me see. Oh, I'm gonna do bonus action of second wind.
Okay, you're gonna heal yourself. Nice. So go ahead and roll that D10 and add. What does it add?
Plus 1.
Plus 1.
So 10
Plus-
total, so I'm at max health.
Sweet.
I don't know why I forgot I can do that.
Yep, that is the fighter's best. That is like their best recovery. So Alucard, after basically carving your initial into this thing, you take a deep breath and center yourself and refocus, and it's like you feel your fortitude return to you as you're ready for more. And that's going to end your turn as it brings it to the Lantern's turn, who has tried moving away and doesn't work, so it's just going to keep, like, blasting this very unstable, like, pillar of people. So, Alucard, you're getting attacked. Nope. And, no. You're lucky, because that was, one of the options was a nat 20. So, it blasts at you twice, but one, like, blast of light you catch on the pommel of your rapier, and it just bursts apart into harmless mist across your face that, like, seems to sap the life out of it slightly and kind of chills your face, but overall, the blood returns and you return to your, like, natural liveliness. The other one flies way past and just smashes a hole through the floor into the cellar below.
Wow! Destructive!
It does not respond.
Accurate.
It is now Ozen's turn.
Alright. Alright, little fuckwit, let's do this one more time.
Let's do this one more.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
I'll fucking stab you one more time.
Mind sliver. Saving throw.
Lore accurate.
Bruh.
Alright, right. Saving throw. That's a D12. Okay, it unfortunately succeeded again. Oh no, you're all dead! Your concentration breaks. For myself later, when I'm listening back through this, I stacked his character on top of a dice tower, like a stack of dice, and then Bobby slammed the table and the dice fell over, and he fell over, so he's dead. Anyways, so unfortunately, Ozen, as you try blasting this thing with another like rocket of energy, it is able to completely nullify the effects within its form in one way or another. Myken, you're up again.
Okay, Mike, and let's do this shit. Sacred Flame, let's go.
Okay.
DC 14 dex.
I know.
No, you don't.
It just actually, yeah, it saves.
Okay.
It has, as like you blast out this puffball once again, and it quickly spirals around this tower almost blindingly. And then by the time the puffball's away, it's now returned into position with this like biblically accurate angel type form with rings cycling around it.
Okay.
Except no eyeballs.
Except no eyeballs.
No eyeballs, no wings. But it's got them holy rings.
Ah!
Catch me on 4th Avenue for my poetry slam fest. Anyway. Is that your...
Is that your whole turn?
Yes.
Okay. Very fair. So, that's going to bring it now to Mask's turn.
Okay. Let's go with this shit. Swing. Does a 23 hit?
Let me check with the people at home. Yeah, that hits.
Great. I thought it might not, but just to be sure.
Yeah, you're completely justified.
Okay, it's gonna do 7 damage.
All right.
Now, eyebrow. Does a 21 hit?
Yes. Fucking hell. First half of the fight, you guys were terrible, but now you're just tearing this thing apart.
4 damage.
Okay, so 11 damage total. Nice. Mast, you, apparently mushroom is your color, as, you just are hacking and slashing at this thing like crazy now.
You guys are gonna be so disappointed when I tell you what the mistake I made was.
I have a feeling I might know.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, you just absolutely tearing into this thing. Its spiral is now slowing down so much that there are, like, noticeable trails of this, like, dark mist that's just emanating outwards and just kind of, like, spraying across you guys that are just passing through your form and, like, chilling your insides as they're passing through you. But not causing any actual, seemingly immediate negative effects. You're probably just gonna die of, like, cancer in 3 years.
Aww.
As it completely nukes the inside of your body.
Mike is actually doing completely fine, and Mastema likes...
Isn't fungus, like, actually immune to radiation or something?
I have no fucking clue.
I think it has, like, has some really weird effects on it, but it's not, like, not negative. And that could be complete bullshit. Anyways.
I mean, I know Mastema isn't gonna give a shit. They already have full control over their body.
Yeah, anyways, it's now Alucard's turn. Can you carry up?
Sure.
Carry up your wayward son?
Imagine making a contract with Hell and getting immunity to cancer.
Yeah. That's your only benefit.
Let's see. 22 hit?
Yes, but you only get immunity to one type of cancer because you didn't specify all cancer. So they specifically give you a different type of cancer.
Yeah.
Because that's how a devil would work.
Yes.
8 total damage.
Okay, very nice.
Because my bond with Hell doesn't just let me have full control of my flesh.
Yeah. Once again, Alucard, you stab upwards and slice through this thing. This trail of mist that's now emanating from this thing is growing thicker and thicker, and its actual self is now beginning to shrink, as it seems it's barely able to sustain this form. That brings it to the Lantern's turn. And nope.
Yeah, literally, it says here that my pact with Hell lets me get full control of my body in exchange for a continuous stream of souls.
Yep. So, it launches 2 more of these blasts towards you, Alucard, but it's so feeble and they're so slow at this point, at least in comparison to how they had been before, that you are able to, with your legs kind of wrapped around the neck of Mask, you just completely... like, flip your upper torso backwards to let them pass above you, and then, like, sit yourself back upright.
Yeah.
Awesome, as it is now Ozen's turn.
Right. Again, so Mind Sliver.
Alright. It works this time.
Holy shit.
It seems
my
its form is so diminished that it's not able to resist your guys' effects.
That is 4 total points of psychic damage.
Okay.
Is this thing actually getting weaker?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean,
And-
it looks like it's getting weaker, but I'm not
and
gonna say yes or no to stat
You have
wise.
to
I mean, I'm
subtract
not
a
gonna do
D4
anything with the information.
from the
I'm
next
just
saving
curious
throw
as
it
a-
makes
as, like,
before
a
the end of my
player.
next turn.
Yeah.
But sorry, what?
So it says that, and subtract a D4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn.
Nice. Okay. So that's your full turn?
Yeah.
Okay, Mykin, your turn.
It'd just be really cool if they set up a transforming stat block. You're already rolling the die.
Yep. I like how with a metal and a resin die, it makes that clunk, 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 clunk. Minus the D4. Because of his... Ow. Fuck, that metal one is sharp when you shake it in your hands.
I keep getting stabbed by the resin
Minus
one.
4. It fails because of him.
Nice. Let's go.
Also, transforming stat blocks are a thing I have used.
Fucking
just
maxed
not
out
this
the
guy.
D8, 8 damage.
Oh shit! You blast this thing, and it is just, at this point, no longer able to, like, weave in and out of the way of your guys' attacks. Taking a massive, full frontal blast of energy, as your spore cloud just blasts over it, and nearly completely consumes it. However, some amount of that dark, radiant energy seems to linger. But just barely. It's back to Mistema's turn.
Okay. Let's finish this up.
This is an attack against you. Ha! Throws the dice at him.
Let's finish this out, Mass.
Alright.
Does a 12 hit?
Ah, that's worse than 13!
Damn it. I thought it was better.
I know. Science has come back, and apparently 12 is worse than 13.
Okay, eyebrow, let's go. Does a 22 hit?
I think so. It just might.
Oh, great.
Because of the weakened form or something.
Wait, I got cocked. Come on, go down. Okay, 4 damage.
Okay, nice. You, like, lash out with your, bladed arm, and it just barely kind of, like, is able to move itself out of the way, but then that, like, mushroom blasts forward from your face and, like, punches into this thing, and then reels backward again. And, like, this lantern, entity, whatever it is just barely hanging in. And its outer ring at this point, that glowing ring with all these symbols, has now completely faded and died, and is now just a slow spiraling center vortex of energy. But Alucard, it is now your turn.
Right. Is it 10 hit?
No, you like whip out your sword towards it, and it, like, your blade just kind of passes around this now like wide spraying ring of dark mist, but it doesn't seem to hit the actual core of whatever this entity is.
Let's see.
And that's it. Okay. It is going to maybe get one final blast against you guys. It is going to raise out of both of your reaches. Both of you get opportunity attacks.
Already at the ceiling.
It is, sorry, it's like moving back towards the back of the cathedral.
10 again.
19.
Miss. That's a hit.
And for the win! Cocked. What's up with
For the win,
D4s getting
cock.
cocked? Yeah, I'm gonna use the special D4 that has the extra bottom piece.
Alright.
Yeah, that fixes it. 4 plus 4, 8.
How do you want to do this?
Well, I can't change my damage type until I long rest. So for now, let's just say that for my arm, my usual thick blade becomes thin and elongated, sort of like Alucard's rapier, except a bit longer than that, and just slices down, chops clean through the middle.
Alright, very nice. Yeah, exactly that. you like cleave down through this thing, and as you hit this like center of this vortex one more time, you hear like a loud crack of something as it blasts outwards. There's just this wave of darkness that spreads across the entire cathedral and blasts out every single torch that had been left burning, except for that central burning flame, this like brazier of like warmth. And as it does so, there's this rush of cold that sweeps through the cathedral, but with your dark visions, you're still all able to see perfectly well. And it's not like completely dark in here, just
Actually,
quite dim.
Mask only has 60 feet of dark vision. I don't think I can see very well.
Whoa. Fucking weak, honestly. Get on everyone else's level with 120 feet, am I right, ladies?
I'll get that next level.
Yeah. That being said, the remaining scene is Juriender, right here. He is currently lying face down on the floor, where he had previously fallen. Okay. Myken just slaps him repeatedly.
Very slowly and weakly.
Alright. You like tickle the back of his head basically. Make a... No, you don't get to make a check for that. He's starting to stir, and you do that, and he like turns around, like tries to struggle, gets up onto one knee, and then like collapses again. He looks up. Moonshard, where is it? I must find it, or the village is doomed. Please. You must... Oh my god. Head to the bell tower. Ascend the stairs. You have to help my student priests. Most of them are untested in situations like this. And it seems someone, or something, is determined to disrupt our ceremony and threaten Rubalka's future. Now go, please, for me. Juriender presses a vial of thick green liquid into the hands of Myken, as he was the closest individual. And then he struggles to his feet and like begins you see the stairs, they're kind of right those descend, this ascend. He struggles to his feet and begins running as fast as he can in this heavy ceremonial armor towards the stairs. Please, the bell tower. If it ignites and falls into the cathedral, the whole building will be lost, and my brethren along with it. Our lives are in your hands. As he descends down the stairs, and you even for a moment hear the stumble, and you hear dun 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 dun, and as he catches himself, he's like ah. And, you hear the stomping continue as he's, charging off into the distance as he's, echoing.
The Stefan in me wants to kill him and take the stuff.
Take the moon shard?
Yeah.
I'm not here to stop you guys. But, I will tell you, there's... it's probably not what he's asking for.
I mean, you're right.
And would your characters... want
not
to kill him?
Two.
Yeah, there you go, so don't do it. Why would you fuck up everything I've ever tried to do for you?
You're right, I should only ever do that to Shades.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Okay, now that combat's over, he wants to know the mistake. Actually, Rishi, you got a guess?
Is it that you can't shift forms like that?
I do actually have a height limit.
Ah, what is it?
It's my height.
I figured. Most often it's your own height.
And you wanna know what the worst part is?
Huh.
Funglets have a minimum height of 7 foot, so I can never become a funglet, actually.
No.
Yeah.
You can become a midget funglet, right? Or just, you can't because you can't be their height?
I mean, I assume it has to... I mean, it does sort of remove the purpose if I'm not their height. I assume 7 foot is a midget for a funglet, by the way.
Oh, fair.
Because it says that they are never below 7 feet.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I guess you can't become a fun. For this one time, your flesh was able to far exceed its normal bounds because of the corrupting nature of this entity that had been before you.
Oh wait, no, it is size. It is size actually.
It is size?
Not height. I can change my height up to medium size, like the peak medium size.
Okay.
What is medium size?
Medium-sized creatures. It's fucking varied. But funglets are technically medium-sized creatures.
That feels wrong for something that weighs 650 pounds.
Yeah, it does feel wrong, but that's what it is. I'm guessing it's because they don't take up a large area. They're very tall, narrow, lumbering giants. Even though they... It's 100% because character races that are large-sized creatures usually just don't work as... Like, it usually just doesn't work.
It's for Placomedes.
Yeah, it's basically for Placomedes.
Well, in that case, Funglet will be the go-to form, I guess.
Alright. We'll say the best you can reach is a 7-foot height. You are able to get to a midget funglet.
Okay.
You'll be a funglet-ed.
Okay, good. For future reference, I'm a funglet. I mean, as soon as combat ends, I'm removing concentration on that, and then letting out like a...
Yeah, you cough up like a splatter of dark viscera onto the ground.
Yeah.
And not even blood, just some dark fluid that flows within you.
Hey, wait, what is the term? A disgusting noxious goo.
Yeah, there you go. It is rather disgusting and noxious.
And I was just like, what the hell was all that about, huh?
Well, I can change form, and everything. But if I do it in a short period of time, it strains my body.
I see. And Ozen, you see that Ozen just like takes out a thing of paper and a pen and he's like writes that all down.
He's writing down your weaknesses.
Yeah, that's exactly how I took it.
Great.
Like,
actually, I wanna perception check your intentions with that.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Insight.
Insight. 14.
If you're trying to obfuscate your intentions, roll deception.
If you're trying to obfuscate
If you're
your
trying.
intention.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll. Tell us what you got.
This is deception, right?
Yes.
10.
Total?
Yeah.
So, are you, if he's able to peer into the insight, what is the intentions of writing this down?
No more.
You don't have to verbalize this in character. He's just, he sees you doing this and sees, like, he's able to peer into the intent of why you're writing this information down about him.
Simply for the intention for knowing about his general philosophy, like his general
Physiology?
Yeah.
Or whatever? Yeah, there you go. So,
for research, because you know that in the future you'll be able to gain these transformations and whatnot, or just because you're interested in a potential new party member as like a character.
The potential of a fellow comrade.
okay. So, yeah. So maybe knowing some of your weaknesses so he can help support you or something, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you get that. So you're able to peer behind it, and there's that immediate suspicion in you that has been just bred into you. But, like, peering into it, you actually see no ill intent, and actually, rather, compatriarchal? Goodwill with it. Words are hard. I'm not a wordsmith. Camaraderie, that's it, thank you. There we go, fuck off. You're an asshole, I hate you. I cancel D&D, this is forever gone. Anyways.
This is a good setting, come on.
No, it's good.
No, you hate it.
I do. I know, I put in so much effort. I made physical maps for this shit. Well, I didn't make them, I had formatted and assembled and printed and cut it and pasted them together. But the maps were made by the lovely people at WAW Games. No, I said that right. AAW Games. Good shit. Not sponsored. Oh boy, do I wish I was, though. That'd be awesome. Like, if they sponsored this, that would be insane. But no, that's not happening.
No, we're still being sponsored exclusively by Xanax.
Exclusively by Xanax. That's a funny story. Actually, these people that I was watching play this campaign, they also started doing the fakes. They brought up the idea of doing fake sponsorship reads, to prepare for when, like, if they ever get real sponsorships. I was like, hey, we were doing that first. I didn't obviously send any messages or anything, but I was like, oh my god, they thought of the same shit.
It's a good bit.
It is. It's a great bit. I actually would have to look at the release date of that when we first started doing that in the videos, and look at the release date. Of that episode. I can't remember the actual upload date of their video, but it might have been right around the same time. So that's kind of funny. Anyways, go figure. Not every idea on the internet is completely unique, and also is not copied off of someone else. You know, two people can come up with ideas that are the same, but separately.
You know that if some random dude comes up with a cool idea about a mouse who wears red tights, and then posts that idea that's totally their own on the internet, that they can get sued and lose everything?
Yeah, because Disney.
It's really upset. Yeah.
Disney's so wonderful. Anyways, not sponsored, don't sponsor.
Disney, if anyone could sponsor us, I would. Like, you're the one company who I'd turn down.
Yeah, fuck Disney. Your founder was a literal Nazi enthusiastic supporter. Quite literally, is his actual thing. Walt Disney was a Nazi enthusiast.
Like, Disney's just not.
He liked Hitler. Great guy, honestly. Anyways, that's not what this campaign's about. This campaign's about the Drow. Or maybe
the Drow are Nazis, right?
Yeah, the Drow. They're not. That sounds like something a Nazi would say.
Yeah.
You want to hunt Drow with GI Robot?
GI Robot with GI Mushroom?
You want to hunt Drow with GI Funglet?
Yeah, GI Funglet. That being said, okay, so, Juriander has rushed down these stairs and begged you guys to go up. He also shoved a green flask into Myken's hands.
This would go great. No, it's like, this would go great with one of my cookies.
That's true. You see, you, like, look at it, and you notice that there's actually a tag hanging from the neck of the bottle. And you read the tag, and it says Elixir of Vigor. Mechanically, it is a potion of greater healing, which, if you wish, can be split into two dosages of regular potions of healing.
What do the potions of regular healing do?
2d4 plus 2, greater healing's 4d4 plus 4.
We don't need that much healing. Alucard. It's like, Alucard. Master Man, would you like to split this potion?
Yes.
For later use, of course, since I just healed you.
Yes, please.
Okay, then.
Alright, so you'll, like, pull out a flask, or actually, Ozin, you absolutely have, like, any number of flasks on your person. So would you like to just kind of offer one for him to, like, pour the potion in?
Yeah, I currently have one right here.
Great.
You hear a rattling of metal and glass as he pulls it out of, like, a very burgeoning, like, pack.
Interesting.
But yeah, so you split. You now have 2 potions of healing.
So, Alucard has one, and yeah,
and Myken. Yep. All right. So that being said, time is of the essence. You smell smoke rising, not only from the put-out fires down here, but you can hear distressing noises from above, and smell like this faint waft of smoke. And you see this slight trickle that seems to be falling down these stairs. It seems like something is trying to set the bell tower aflame.
Okay, well, Mastema, who's not weak to fire, and actually has fire resistance, is gonna go investigate.
Alright, just you alone? You're gonna climb the stairs alone, or is everyone gonna follow?
Mistemma's gonna lead the charge.
Okay, fair enough. So, leading the charge, you begin running up these stairs. And that, as we pause, as you're just charging up these stairs, is where we're going to leave it off for this time.
It's fucking bullshit!
I know. So, this has been session 1 of our journey into the Rise of Drow campaign. Once again, by AAW Games. If you're interested in this, I highly recommend their content. They are a great company. Again, not sponsored, but fucking, I wish. If any of you ever hear this, hey.
Yeah, listen here, boys.
Thank you for the amazing games. See them at Gen Con every year or something. I don't know. This is all non-sponsored, so I can say whatever I want. And no one's listening to this. Let's be honest. No one but me is listening to this. And that's fine. But, hey, if anyone ever does listen to this and you somehow sat through the whole thing,
somehow.
Maybe you're listening at work. Maybe you're putting it on in the background. Maybe leave a message down below. See, say if, any strict, harsh comments or, if you've ever played through this campaign.
Remember that one guy who commented
how much we suck?
Yeah.
He comes back just to be like, yeah, you guys still suck. Bye.
Like, we sucked and you came back.
Yeah, bit of a rough start for the adventurers, but all of them managed to survive their encounter with this strange entity. Yeah. So, let's find out what happens as they ascend this burning bell tower in the next session. Thank you again for listening. Have a great day.